shell fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Darling, wildin', living it up in the city. I got tracks on, we safe for arm. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot, damn. Got a ball leaks and a fireman. I'm too hot, damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, damn. Never bad about that money. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause I'm down back, I'm giving to ya. Cause I'm down back, I'm giving to ya. Cause I'm down back, I'm giving to ya. Saturday night, the weekend is spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Stay. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign a check. Julio gets a stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we won't show out. Smoother than a fresh trash kebab. I'm too hot, damn. Got a ball leaks and a fireman. I'm too hot, damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, damn. Never bad about that money. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause I'm down back, I'm giving to ya. Cause I'm down back, I'm giving to ya. Cause I'm down back, I'm giving to ya. Saturday night, the weekend is spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 place called Vertigo. It's everything I wish I didn't know, except you give me something. I can feel your love teaching me how. I can feel your love teaching me how. I can we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love no one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never into one love. All I wanted was to break you all. All you ever did was wreck me. Can you wreck me? I put you high up in the sky, and now you're not coming down. It slowly turned, you left me burning now. We're ashes on the ground. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never into one love. All I wanted was to break you all. All you ever did was wreck me. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never into one love. All I wanted was to break you all. All you ever did was wreck me. Can you wreck me? I never meant to start a war. I just wanted you to let me in. And instead of using force, I guess I should have let you in. I never meant to start a war. I just wanted you to let me in. I guess I should have let you in. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never into one love. All I wanted was to break you all. All you ever did was wreck me. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never into one love. All I wanted was to break you all. All you ever did was wreck me. Can you wreck me? Sometimes I think that it's better to never ask why. Funny how the heart can be deceiving, more than just a couple times. Why do we fall in love's a reason, even when it's not right? Where there is desire, there is gonna be a flame. Where there is a flame, someone's bound to get burned. But just because it burns doesn't mean you're gonna die. You gotta get up and try, try, try. Gotta get up and try, try, try. Gotta get up and try, try, try. Yeah. Get it on up. I can't touch this. I can't touch this. I can't touch this. I can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me with a mind to rhyme and to high beat. It's good, we know your time, so we don't hold on for the old town. I'm known as such, and this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. That's how we're living and you know. You can't touch this. Look in my eyes now. You can't touch this. You know them must have fucking lyrics. what? Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what I really, really want. Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what I really, really want. I wanna really, really, really want. See, if you want my future, forget my past. If you wanna get with me, better make it fast. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Get your act together, we could be just fine. Yeah, tell me what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what I really, really want. I wanna really, really want. See, if you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever, friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking it so easy, but that's the way it is. So what to think about that? Now you know how I feel. Say you can have my love, are you for real? I won't be hasty, I'll give you a try. You really put me, then I'll say goodbye. I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what I really, really want. I wanna really, really want. See, you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever, friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking it so easy, but that's the way it is.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 all through the town. The money on the bus goes clink, 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 clink. The money on the bus goes clink, 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 all through the town.
claw, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love no one could deny.
Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Music loud and women want to be kicked around since I was born. And it's alright, I don't care. You may look the other way. We can try to understand the New York Times effect on man. Whether you are murder, whether you are money, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feelings in the beginning, everybody shaking and we're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. High, and if I can't get me up, I'll really try. Got a wings on heaven on my shoes. I'm a dancing man, and I just can't lose. Well, it's alright, it's okay. I live to see another day. We can try to understand the New York Times effect on man. Whether you are murder, whether you are money, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feelings in the beginning, everybody shaking and we're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. Like going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me out. Like going nowhere. Somebody help me out. Like being alive. Not staying alive. Stop, stop, stop. Not staying alive. Stop, stop, stop. Not staying alive. Stop, stop, stop. Not staying alive. Staying alive. myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and it's an ache I still remember. Addicted to a certain kind of sadness, like resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we could still be friends. But I'll admit that I was glad that it was over. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make it like it never happened, that we were nothing. And I don't even need your love. Treat me like a stranger and I feel so wrong. No, you didn't have to stare so loud. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. Like I said, I don't need that love. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now and then I think of all the times you screwed me over, but I've been believing it was always something that I'd done. But I don't wanna live that way, reading into every word you say. You say that you can let it go, and I wanna get you hung up on somebody that you used to know. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make it like it never happened, that we were nothing. And I don't even need your love. Treat me like a stranger and I feel so wrong. No, you didn't have to stare so loud. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. Like I said, I don't need that love. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I got my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, and I'm not proud of my affairs. In a torn up town, no postcodes envy, but every song's like gold feet, play gold, dripping in the back. And everyone who knows us knows that we're fine with this. We don't come for money. Every song's like gold teeth, play goes dripping in the bathroom. Bloodstained barcode, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams. But everybody's like Bristol, Maybach, diamonds on the timepiece. Jet plane, islands, cycles on the cold leaves. We don't care. We are caught up in a love affair. When we'll never be royal. It already our blood. The kind of love you take for us. We crave a different kind of love. Let it be your blue love. You can call me Queen Bee.
Send in your emails to showx@vtwproductions.com. You're listening to ShowX on vtwproductions.com.
Hello, hello, hello. You're listening to ShowX live on vtwproductions.com and on Twitch and on YouTube and on hopefully Alpha Geek Radio. So that's pretty much everywhere we can be at this stage. I actually had somebody stop me this week and we started chatting about the podcast and they said to me, "So why are you not on Spotify?" I was like, "For God's sakes, we're everywhere already. We're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're everywhere, man. Like we're on every single like podcast app out there as well. And now I've got to be on Spotify too. Okay, duly noted. We'll look into that. Coming through is a little quiet. Okay, thanks for letting me know. That's odd. That may just be because the music was so loud, to be honest. I had the music boosted like mad because I was really enjoying it, to be honest. Let me see what I can do here. Recording devices. Yeah. That's very low. What the hell? Don't know what's going on there. Let me try this. One moment. This might kill it. Secondly, I can always eat the mic, but then the camera's off. Look at all these technical difficulties. As soon as Wayne disappears, I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, that looks a bit better. Okay, how's that? Dude, Spotify's not a podcaster thing, says Hando. I totally agree, man. I totally agree, but apparently people use it. I don't know, maybe we're just getting old, you know? Like, maybe we're the old school. I remember when podcasts, you had to download the MP3, well, not even MP3, I remember when you had to download, like, the WAV file, this giant WAV file, or some other weird compressed FLAC file or something, and you had to download that. I remember that, man. I remember those days. And apps weren't a thing, you had applications. Back in my day. Back in my day, we had applications. Thank you for joining the chat, Hando and Copy. It's good to see you both in there. It is indeed Show DFL. Oh my god, I can't do it myself. I should know my own title and name, apparently. Should I do it in phonetic? That'll really challenge myself. Show Delta Foxtrot Lima Delta Lima Romeo Papa Alpha Beta Oscar Sierra. What's W? I should know W. What is W? It's not... Whiskey, Tango, Hotel, Oscar, Hotel, Kilo, November, Romeo, Tango, Sierra. Hey, I did it. That's the show. Just wing it. That's the show. Just sound it out. Oh, okay. It's show... Welcome. This is good radio, isn't it? It's nice to see you all. It's nice to hear you. I've missed you guys. Every week I miss you guys. I really do, genuinely. I remember years ago I used to dream of this being my full-time job. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine just people wanting to listen to me at all? Never mind, like, once a week's more than enough, I think. But imagine it was every day. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. My ego's already far too big. Okay, I couldn't possibly do it for a whole week. And thank you for filling the chat with cat gifs. That is, or cat emojis. Always welcome. Always welcome. So today, yeah, Wayne is not joining us. He is off doing fun, crazy karate things, ninja things. It's not actually karate, but he's doing ninja things. He is sneaking into large old museums and stealing diamonds by jumping over lasers. And oh no, that's a cat burglar. No, he's a ninja. So he's killing samurai, I guess. That's what he's doing. So it's just me today, and as usual, I've come in with absolutely no plans. However, I'm very proud to say that I have fixed or worked out why I couldn't screen share before. So the reason for my inability to screen share to an extent was... So first of all, I've got an NVIDIA graphics card, and that doesn't allow, for some reason, the 1050 Ti doesn't allow you to share your display without like reverting back to a weird old driver or something like that. Then changing some BIOS settings, and I ain't doing all that. I ain't. I'd rather stick with the standard and know that everything else is going to work. However, window capture used to work, and then it stopped working. It turns out the reason for it is Google Chrome in a recent update, and by recent I mean last year, enabled hardware acceleration, which means that as far as the graphics card and or the processor was concerned, Google Chrome was already doing some graphics stuff, man. Doesn't need any more of this graphic stuff. So it didn't like doing both at the same time. So yeah. So now I've got it. So now I've got the chat actually showing, which is great. I feel elated to have you guys actually on the video. You deserve it. You deserve to be part of this. Hando says, I listen to Frog Pants every day, but I'm weird, so you have one at least. Yeah, Frog Pants deserves listening to every day. Scott Johnson has the voice of I want to say angels, but I always like, in my mind, angels are feminine figures. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. But I know you get like Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Gabriel and all this stuff. So I know there's a lot of male angels. I know, in fact, I think the angels who were like in the whole baby Jesus story, they're all male, right? Pretty much all of them, as far as if I remember my childhood Christianity correctly, forced Christianity correctly, then there's a lot of male angels out there, but I tend to think of them as female. So I feel like saying that Scott has the voice of an angel would be like saying Scott has a very feminine voice to me, and he doesn't. So I can't say that. Scott has an eloquent. No, it's not even eloquent. He just has a voice for radio. I have the face for radio, but he has the voice for radio. He's got a beautiful voice. It's crisp and it's clear, and it's like a 1920s, 30s, and 40s radio presenter in the US, like what you hear in Fallout, right? Like that kind of style. You're listening to Frog Pants Studios or something. You're not, by the way. That was me imitating him. You're listening to VTW. Gabriel was in the baby zombie Jesus story. Oh, sorry. I just compiled them all together. They're all just the same to me. Alright, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me on the show. If you want to send in your emails, please do so to showx@vtwproductions.com. I have no plans for the show. So I might veer off into video games. Either talking about them or playing them. We will see. So let's see what we've got installed, actually. So one of the things I'll be talking about, I've installed The Sims 4 again, and I've been screwing around with that because I saw my wife playing on the PlayStation, and some part of my brain was like, hey, you want to be a normie too? I can't always use the word normie. I've never used the word normie in my real life before, or even online. I don't like to use it. Copy, nobody likes their own voice, and if they do, they're like supremely up themselves, generally speaking. That's not fair. I think we should love our voice. I like the way my voice sounds when I say it, but when I hear it back, I'm like, oh man, who would listen to that guy? He's annoying. Listen to all the weird and annoying noises he makes. He says the same things over and over, and he goes and all the time. But when I'm talking, I'm like, yeah, I'm a presenter. I don't know why. I did just call my wife a normie. She is a normie. I'm sitting up here doing a radio show with a Goku shirt on. I'm like the epitome of nerd. And my wife is a lovely, fantastic, popular, outgoing person. She's don't know what she's doing with me. She messed up. She signed the wrong paperwork. She married the wrong dude. She's far too good for me. She's far too good for me. No, I wouldn't say, so when I say normie, I mean sort of like people who aren't into like obscure nerd culture, I guess. Although I know fine well that it's not really a popular term these days because it's kind of being used by a weird alt-right group now, and people who are like the weird part of MRAs and all that stuff. My Goku shirt is indeed a lie. It is indeed a lie. It's kind of incorrect in a way, but I like it. I like it. It makes me happy. Last year, me and Graham, my buddy Graham, we exchanged the same shirts on each of our birthdays. So he got a Vegeta shirt, and then he got me a Goku shirt for my birthday. So when we go out on like night outs together, we go out wearing these because we're cool. We're really cool that way. So yeah, I was going to say what games I'll be playing and stuff. So well, not so much. I want to say what games we could do right now. What we could do on the get your weeb stuff. Can I swear? I don't know. I need to establish this with Wayne. We never used to swear, but it's now on the stream because Copy swore in chat. Copy. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna set the bot to maximum filter and ban people for saying the word pee-pee. So she says, "Get your weeb crap out of here. Get your weeb crap out of here." Yeah, it's kind of weeb. I'm pretty. I'm so anti-anime until it comes to Dragon Ball Z. Then I'm like, yeah, man, I'll wear the shirt. I'll watch the series. I'll go and watch it first day it comes out on in the cinemas. Yeah, totally. In fact, I wanted to go see it twice, but sadly I went too late. So. I really enjoyed the Dragon Ball Z films. They've done such a great job of bringing that back, by the way. Like bringing back Dragon Ball with Dragon Ball Super and with all the films and stuff. They're just so good. They're just so good. I really do love them. So the games I've got installed, which we could stream, we could play with. Factorio, of course. However, that might be difficult. We couldn't do it on the server because. There's a new Factorio update which destroyed all of the mods, and I've not updated our server yet. So I don't even know if the mods are even updated to be put on the server yet. So it would probably be vanilla, but in the new patch, which means I wouldn't know what I'm doing, which is going to be amusing in itself. But we could do that. We've also got Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm like 3 hours in, so not too far in. We could do that. It's a single player experience, so I'd be talking through it. Alternatively, we could play Stellaris, and I say we, whether that means you guys watching and me playing, or whether that means we all play together. I'm up for any of the above. But Stellaris is a very pretty game, so it might be something that you might just it might be nice to just like listen to my voice and have me in the background playing this game with the pretty pictures there, while you do something else. Like that's a nice thought, isn't it? I like the idea. So in the IRC, that's so embedded in my brain now. I always say it. I had to explain IRC this week to my students. We were talking about how technology has evolved over the years, and I was saying how talking about user interfaces and stuff, and how when you design software or any product really, you really need to consider how you design it to be accessible and usable by as many people as possible, right? So whether it be language or disabilities, all that sort of thing, right? And I was talking about chat clients, how they've evolved over the years, and I mentioned IRC, and I looked around expecting at least one or two of this sort of like, I don't know, deeply involved in nerd culture people. It's a computing science class after all, I think we've got a higher proportion of nerds and geeks, fellow nerds and geeks like myself, than elsewhere, but nah, nobody knew what IRC was. And I was like, irc.quakenet.org, nobody? And they were like, blank faces. So yeah, that was a little weird. We're getting to the age where people are growing up and not remembering, the early days of the internets. I remember joining IRC channels when I didn't really know what the heck I was doing and should absolutely not have been in an IRC channel. Way too young to do that. But I learned a lot. I think that's how you learn about internet culture, and that's where the first memes were propagated, right? Like people sharing links to Newgrounds and eBaum's World and all that stuff. So Copy said, dude, when Stoner was taking his video game class in uni, he was trying to tell me all the history of it all, and I kept correcting him. Yeah, we do one video game module and it's pretty much to scare the students straight. We're like, okay, here's what the video game module's like. See how it's not as fun as you thought it would be? This is just physics and maths, really. The artwork we just use, like, you know, either really basic, or you can use Creative Commons stuff, or a library of clip art. Pretty much, we do tile map based stuff. So, you know, think of an array of, like, I don't know, 100 by 50. So you've got this, like, long map, and you only show, like, 20 tiles at a time. So you can make a game where, I don't know, like N+ or Mario or something, or Sonic type game, but 2D, and they jump around that, and you can make them, you know, pretty much any game, any kind of thing you want to do where you collide with objects and then something happens. Like in Sonic when you pick up rings, or in Mario when you jump on a mushroom or something, right? All that sort of stuff. And that's the kind of thing they do. And people are like, oh, this is going to be so fun, I love video games. And they go in and it's just constant discussions of velocity and how to make realistic looking graphics when you move, and reading user input and making sure it's correct, and parallel like computation and stuff. It's just dull. Like there's way more interesting problems to deal with in computing science than that stuff. People think that when you're making video games, they'll just be like, oh, you drag and drop the Mario character onto the screen and they'll just automatically run. Then you type in "be better graphics," semicolon, and then it's all in 4K. Like, no, that's not how it works. You know. A copy says, oh wait, no, I'm missing a few. Let me go back here. Kuro says, next you're going to be telling me no one knows what Telnet is. One of my favorite things to do to show off Telnet occasionally when people don't understand it is there's one server still alive somewhere where you can connect to it and request Star Wars. And what we'll do is return in ASCII, which is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So, you know, basic alphanumerics like a keyboard is. Like, basically your A to Z's, caps on and or off, your numbers, your symbols, and some other minor functions. As opposed to Unicode, which includes, like, Chinese characters, etc. Anyway, so it will return in ASCII the entire of Star Wars. I think it's like 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, but in ASCII format, so it's all like text, and it'll show it in your, like, either command prompt or whatever you're using. Yeah, blinking lights, that's it, blinking lights, well done. That's exactly why I show them with, they're like, what was wrong with you nerds back in the day? Like, really, we had nothing else to do, what do you expect? We didn't have YouTube back in the day. YouTube was what, 2005? You know? 2005 is, it's pretty late on in terms of the internet, you know? It was, there was a lot, the internet was around for 25 years, but rising popularity for the 25 years prior, so. Copy says, who teaches these things? I should be a video game history class. That's interesting. There must be a video game history. We don't teach that, obviously, because that's more creative than it is computing, right? And that's the problem with video games in general. It's less of a science and more of a. I mean, admittedly, there's a lot of research goes into it. Don't get me wrong, but they're like deep end computing scientists and game developers who are, you know, hiring scientists to find out the next technologies. So I don't know if a video game history class would probably just be in a video game course, I guess, not in a computing science one. Copy says, I'm old and can tell people all about back in my day. Yes. I can do some. I'm not the oldest. Even in this, in fact, in everybody in chat, I'm probably the youngest here. But I still remember a lot of the olden days. A lot of this stuff. Thinking back to The Sims 1 as well, and how many bugs and terrible it was when it first came out as well. And that was further on than anything. I still remember all the terrible PlayStation games that were super buggy that I had as well. And I remember chipping my first PlayStation 1. I actually just got an emulator for Sega as well. For my first Sega. I remember going over to my cousin's to play on his Genesis as well. Unity is a bunch of different university programs. Yes, it is, but Unity is not bad, right? But Unity is it's the middle ground for video game development. It's complex enough that you can do fairly unique and novel game building, world development and such, and proper, like, unique elements. And it's also complex enough that you can have the programmatic approach in developing your own physics engine and such, if you so please. So I really do like Unity. It's great. However, you know, if you're making, you know, if you're any real AAA title developer, or even any brand new developer like the guys who started doing the Witcher series, you'll be making your own engine from scratch, or from using another engine such as the Unreal Engine, which is what Kuro was saying. If you want to make games, just learn Unity or UE4. Absolutely, Unreal Engine's beautiful, or CryEngine's also really nice. Kuro says, I used to dial into the local library to hijack their text-based web browser over Telnet because I could not afford an ISP. I bet they had no idea as well. I bet they had no idea. That's good. Hando says, Grandpa GoHex, can you tell us where trolls came from? I remember the early days of trolls. I remember this. When forums, like Fark and all these other ones. Do you also remember, what was the name of that fantastic website? Bash.org. Bash.org was full of old IRC quotes. There are still references to this day as like running jokes, and like I think Big Bang Theory mentioned a couple of them, like Blood Ninja. Have you ever heard of the phrase Blood Ninja? That's directly from an IRC conversation that was quoted on Bash.org and became popular. It was basically this guy who was really into role playing and kept trying to role play and tricking people into this weird wizard role play, and it was probably trolling, right? He was probably just taking the piss. But it was very amusing, and people would always be like, "Oh, screw off! What are you doing?" And people wanted to role play with other things, like role playing as Eminem or something. And he'd slowly introduce the story into, "And I put on my robe and wizard hat," is the quote. Yeah, good stuff. Check out Bash.org if you're bored and you have crappy internet. Check out Bash.org. It's great. There's hundreds of quotes on there that are just so funny. NSFW though, of course. Copy says video game classes also require marketing and advertising, which is the ridiculous part that I'm good at. Yeah, it depends what the video game classes are focusing on. Like, it's kind of dumb to do a video game degree unless you're going to be like a manager, I guess. But even then, it's better to get a management degree than anything, because video game obviously is made up of you have great design in general, which could be designing stories. So you want to have a literature degree, really. Or you could be designing graphics, then you want to have some sort of artistry degree, or digital media, most likely, some kind of digital media degree. And preferably some experience in the real world, maybe a portfolio and such if you want to get into that, an actual job doing that. Never mind all the testing that he's done, so you need to have hire testers. You want to have people who are really good at programming, and maybe physicists as well, to properly get the physics engine working nicely. You know, if you want to have a realistic game where you can like throw stuff around, and barrels roll and horses run, that takes a lot of maths, right? And physicists will be probably the best at that, or just general mathematicians. That's why the idea of a video game degree is so obscure to me. I just don't quite get what the purpose is. I guess it's a good inspiration almost, and it's a good way if you can get funding to do that. Like in Scotland, if you can do a video game degree, you get paid by the government to do it, right? And they'll pay your tuition. So that's a good time to build up your portfolio. If you think of it that way, where the degree itself doesn't actually matter, but you might be getting a lot of useful tips and hints and learning about the industry and learning about the history, and maybe it'll touch on your specific branch that you're interested in. But if you really want to be, you know, a good writer for video games or whatever, you're going to need to have, you know, a lot of published stories out there. No, they're not going to hire some... Why would they hire somebody with an undergraduate and video game degree with no publications? They wouldn't, unless it was an internship or something, and you managed to get your way in with the best degree that you can possibly get, with you know, the highest of honors or something. Otherwise, it's going to be a real struggle. Video game degrees are really, really niche and very difficult to get a job with alone, I would argue. Just like a photography degree. If you get a photography degree and you go out in the real world and you're like, hire me, I have a photography degree. They'll be like, okay, let's see your photos. I don't have any, these are for classes. It's like, no, you need to build a portfolio, show that you've gone out to events yourself, build your own, build your own portfolio and reputation, right? Show that people want to hire you in the past for short jobs like weddings, even if it's just like a backup photographer for a wedding or something. That's how you do it, right? And it's going to be exactly the same for video games. It's going to be exactly the same for any of this kind of niche industry stuff. So I'm not necessarily saying, I'm not crapping on all video game degrees. I'm just saying that by themselves, they are brilliant in unity with a portfolio. They're pretty useless standalone, in my opinion. But then again, I don't really know much about it. I just do computing science. What do I know? Copy says, I blindly helped my sister with her homework. Nice. Kuro says, we need to make a VTW game and Copy can market it for us. Yes, that's a good idea. I don't know what the themes would be. Is it just going to be a game based on offending people? Is it going to be oh, it could be a tangent game where that's a quite funny idea actually. You start off with like, this is the main storyline, and then never return to it. Just go on like a diverging path of ideas that could drift off into the nether, and you know, it'll start off as an FPS and it'll end up as a pigeon dating sim, you know. And it can change like resolutions throughout the like different types of sound types. It can go from like realistic sounds to 8-bit, and then it can go from like full color to monochrome and back. It can be spacefaring, and it can be through time travel and stuff. This sounds great. Let's do that. Hando says, Ghostcrawler was an oceanographer. Wow, really? I didn't know that. That's crazy. Again, how did he get in there? I'd be interested to hear the story there, actually. Kuro says, I know a few people that got video game development degrees that don't make games nowadays. They just do general programming now. Well, that's because video game development... Well, that's good that they managed to get jobs as programmers. That's good. That means that they've actually got the skill set there. So that's fine. If they build that through other work, great. That's fantastic. I also know people who've gotten video game degrees. Well, I'm not even kidding. I know one that works at McDonald's, and they got a 2-1, which is like the second highest class you can get in a degree that's not a master's or a PhD. But yeah, they kept talking. Like, they were constantly posting on social media about their games and how excited and passionate they were, but they never did anything that was like standalone. They only did what was required for their college and for a uni course, and that was it. So it's no surprise that they couldn't find a job in the industry, you know. It's no surprise. It's kind of sad though. And I think universities and colleges are partly to blame. There's not enough information here about the chances that the students have of getting a job. But then again, I don't know if that would matter. If you play video games from the age of like 5 through to 18, and you're looking at unis, and you're like, man, my dream job is to work in game development. Understandably, right? I get that passion. I think I once fooled myself with the idea of doing that after my computing science degree. And thankfully, I learned the good ways throughout, the righteous paths. But I think that even if universities said, yeah, there's like a... Yeah, okay. Even if your degree course has like a 96% chance of employment afterwards, what it should really specify is what is the percentage chance of going into a related field. I imagine with video game degrees, pretty low. Pretty low. And also, that's the other thing, right? You don't have to make full games. You absolutely don't have to make full games. If your dream is to be a video game developer, like programming specifically, go make mods. Go make mods, like have a full library. But that's the thing. Do you remember that guy who made the, I can't remember what it's called, like the Moonlit Path to Elsewhere or something, that huge mod for Skyrim? He was really struggling to get a job after that. It took him a while. I think he did get it after a while, but this thing was like 200 hours worth of content. So meaning the development time, I think it took him like 3 years to make all of it. And that's including voice acting and his own visual assets that he imported, so images, videos, textures, that kind of thing. His own sound files, all that stuff. Never mind all the programming behind the actual mod. So that's a whole huge skill set this guy had, and he struggled to get a job. But yeah, modding is one of the best ways you can get in as well. So make video games, mod, whatever it is, do a portfolio. You know what? That goes for any degree. Any degree out there. If you want to get a physics degree, have some kind of proof that you can do physics. Publish some nice tutorial videos on YouTube. That will, even if they're just repeat of other stuff, it'll prove your way, you know? It'll prove what you can do. If you're the start of a career, I'm telling you, get yourself known, get a reputation built, whatever it may be. If you're going to plumbing, for God's sakes, you want to be known as a good plumber, so help out your friends and family, get a name made for yourself. Whatever it is, you want to... An education isn't enough. You need real-world experience in any field. Alright, I got a bit of a... This whole show's a tangent, I'm not going to complain about that. So Nier Automata, very good hando. Ken drives and tries not to die, the video game. What are you talking about? I don't think I've ever been in an accident. I've never been in an accident that's my fault. I'll have you know. I don't want this to be my thing. Scottish Roadways, the video game. I'll have you know that Scotland is very, very good for roads and such. Our road system is some of the best in the world. Even though we were driving the wrong side of the road. Wayne doesn't hear anything. That's weird. I think everybody else does. Yep, all is well. Alright. So, we're talking about video games. I said that I have Stellaris, Factorio, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I also have Battle.net. Where's Battle.net? Oh, I recently uninstalled Destiny because I didn't have much space. I also uninstalled WoW. I also uninstalled Hearthstone and StarCraft 2. In fact, why do I even have the Blizzard launcher? I'm not even using it. I have no games in it. Oh, I also have oh no, I got rid of my Epic Games launcher. By got rid of, I mean I changed my hard drive and it was on the hard drive. So I've got Sims 4 and I've got the games I mentioned. So Sims 4, Factorio, Tomb Raider, Stellaris. Those are the things we could do. There's one other thing I want to mention in passing before we do anything else. Let me find it. Using my fancy window capture, I should be able to show this. Oh, and also, we have a competition today. Before I go into the thing I was planning on going on to. We have a competition today. We have a Steam key for a suite of games. For a selection of video games on the Steam store. And you may know of this series. It's the Shadow of Mordor plus all DLC. I believe. That's what I've been told. It's Shadow of Mordor plus all DLC. And in order to win this, let's see, how should we do it? You need to... Oh god, my Twitter's exploding. What's going on here? You need to retweet... the ShowX is now live on Twitch, on Twitter. Preferably with a phrase like, go, come listen, come join in or something. Retweet that. Everybody who retweets will get put in a little poll of sorts, a raffle. And in half an hour's time, after the music break, I will whoever I will select one at random, and whoever has who wins gets the Steam key for Shadow of Mordor and all DLC. Now you can still use it even if you already have the key in the game installed. You can still take the key and give it to a friend or whatever if you so wish. So all you need to do is go to twitter.com/VTWShowX and retweet there. Make sure you also follow us, because I will then message you on Twitter from the ShowX account, or my own, whatever, and give you the key on Twitter. And to private message you, you must be following. So you can unfollow afterwards if you so please. But what you gotta do is retweet the ShowX is now live on Twitch on Twitter. Alright, twitter.com/VTWShowX, and then you have a chance to win the Shadow of Mordor plus all DLC there. Okay, so I have something I wanted to show. Something cool. I need to make sure this all works correctly. So let me work this out. Second window capture. Alright. There we go. It's working. Okay. So this here is a little clip. I wonder if I can make this bigger. Can you guys see that? Yeah, that's nice and big. Okay, so this is from Steam Zone statistics and stolen from Reddit on the Data is Beautiful subreddit. But this shows video games by concurrent daily player count on Steam over a long period of time, over the past, I think it's the past 4 years. So we're going to watch that now. Before I start, we'll give a quick run-off. So in January 2015, Dota 2 was at the top with 842,000 concurrent players. Then we had Counter-Strike Global Offensive with 350k. Then TF2, Team Fortress 2 with 85k. Football Man with 72k. Garry's Mod with 60k. Skyrim with 59k. God, still in 2015 those games played that much. Civ 5, 54k. Arma 3, Counter-Strike, Payday 2, DayZ, and some other ones, including Binding of Isaac. So let's hit play. Alright. Dota 2 is still in the lead. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is moving back and forward. GTA 5 comes in third place, goes 100,000. TF2 jumps up. Terraria is at the top. Oh, it goes straight down. Terraria's out. Team Fortress 2 is back in third place. Grand Theft Auto is coming out. Fallout 4 has had its time and gone. It's gone. It's gone. Ark Survival Evolved is climbing the charts. It's considering in between 3 and 5. GTA 5 is coming back up again. Unturned goes up to the top and disappears very, very quickly. It's gone. Rust has appeared in the list as well. Rocket League is climbing 50k plus. We've got H1Z1 King of the Hills third place, 120k, 110k. It's going down. 150k, 130k. It's really changing here. PlayerUnknown's Battleground has beat Dota 2 massively. It stole everybody. It's back in first place for the first time. We've got 300,000 concurrent players, and PlayerUnknown's Battleground Dota 2 is in 70k. PlayerUnknown's Battleground is losing its figures, losing, down to a third of what it was earlier. Dota 2 is contesting, CSGO is contesting, and that's where we were left off. So, I didn't mean to do the auctioneers thing there, but there we have it. So that's pretty interesting. I thought that was really, really cool. So that was January 2015 till December 2018. The top 15 Steam games by player count, and it was crazy to see some of that stuff. I was mostly amazed by the fact that we had Fallout 4 come on there to like second place for like a month, and then it disappeared. It was gone forever. People were like, no thank you. That was crazy. So that I'm not surprised either. I mean, Fallout 4 really, people were really excited for it, and then it was just a bit of a letdown, right? I think everybody played it for a couple of weeks, and then that was that. But yeah, of course, that's Steam games. Doesn't include all games out there, but that's Steam specifically. So that's not including anything World of Warcraft or Warcraft 3 or anything like that. StarCraft 2. It doesn't include Fortnite either, or any PlayStation games or anything either. That is entirely PlayStation. So that was good fun. What do you guys think of that? Nice rolling commentary. Thank you. My first time trying that. I need to try that again. That was the auctioneers thing. Okay, so we had the votes. Let's see what people are interested in. We'll probably, how about this? We'll do 20 more minutes of general news and stuff. Then we'll go into video games and we'll see how that goes. All right. By the way, I am not damaging myself. I'm not cutting myself. The bruises and cuts I have all over my arm are dogs. So you can blame dogs for that. Okay, let's go back. So again, send in your emails to show@xvdeliberationscom and I will read them out live on air. That's always good fun. But let's dig into a little bit of our. Oh, actually, I can do this pseudo professionally.
Dysfunctional deviations.
All right, thank you, copy. So this is our dysfunctional deviations. We're gonna talk about whatever we feel like, and I'm gonna talk about my past week a little bit. I don't think I have much to mention, mind you, but we'll see. So things are a bit interesting at work just now. So as you guys know, I'm nearing the end of my PhD. It's a 4-year degree program that I managed to get a 3-month extension to. So it's a 4.25 degree program, where basically I will finish at the end of July, and I'll graduate probably in hopefully winter, assuming everything goes well. And then I need to find jobs, right? So I'm looking for jobs. Now, the reason I got the 3-month extension is because I got a short 3-month contract at the department that I'm doing my PhD to work on some stuff there, a different project. So that's good. That fills up my CV. But I'm also applying for several other posts. One in London, where if I get that, I would be based here in Scotland, but I would travel down to London 2 or 3 times a month, maybe more. And do some work there occasionally, but mostly be based up here, which would be pretty nice. And that was based on this cool branch of computing science and AI. That's pretty much brand new in the past 5 years. It's a really, really new field of computing, really cutting edge, and barely been explored. And it's called GI, genetic improvement. And basically, what it does is it considers You take a bunch of code that a programmer has written already. It's already existing code. So say you have a team of making a video game, a team of developers making a video game. And, you know, everybody works 9 to 5, some people do 8 to 4, whatever. And so come, say, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, definitely by 10, everybody's gone home, right? And the office closes up and locks up. So there's all these servers and computers still running, using the same amount of power as they always are, and doing nothing. Bit of a waste, right? The idea is, what they do is they take all the code that the programmers wrote that day, or just the entire project, and you try random things. So you say, what happens if we, or you make some tests that you think makes sense, and the AI will say, well, we know that this is supposed to do that, but it doesn't, right? That's basically it. The AI will run these tests over and over on various parts of the code. It'll do very minor things like adding in a couple of lines. So it might copy a line from somewhere else and add it in somewhere else where it thinks is sensible. It'll try running that. If that fixes the bug, great. Tag that as a possible solution. If it doesn't, undo it, right? It'll try deleting lines. It'll try changing operators. So think of maths, right? You have your plus and your negative. You have your divide and your multiply. It tries fiddling with those randomly, kind of, and seeing what happens. It'll try changing some numbers around. So if you have the number 2 sitting there, you might try 3 or 1 instead and see what changes. Try running that. And each time, it'll do this, you know, for like 10 hours, right? It'll do this overnight. And depending what happens, if it feels that something's been improved, it will tag it in a list of possible improvements for the developers and programmers in the morning. So the programmers will come in and they'll say, "Oh, I was working on that bug yesterday for an hour and a half. I couldn't find the solution." They'll log in, and there's a good chance they'll find that 1 or 2 of the things that are tagged are actually the correct fixes, and the programmer can then vet it, make sure it's correct, make sure the AI's not done anything dumb, deleted any lines erroneously. And then it'll either accept the changes or modify the changes or whatever, and boom, you've got programmer time saved using resources that were already being expended, right? That's the basic premise of genetic improvement, GI. Now, how it works is it's not actually random. Random is actually a very poor way of doing things, as you can imagine. Like, imagine you go into your house and you think, I'm going to look for the milk. Now, using domain knowledge, you and I know fine well that the milk is in Copy's house, then the milk's going to be stored in a bag inside the fridge, or maybe just out the window because it's so cold. Or in any non-Canadian's house, it'll be in a plastic container in the fridge, right? So you know where to look. You're using domain knowledge. Now, we're assuming that the AI has no idea what the program is, and ideally it shouldn't, right? We don't want to. It's far too complex to give an AI that kind of understanding. This is not deep learning or anything like that. We're not actually giving any understanding. It's a dumb AI, effectively. So what we're doing instead is relying on the idea of evolution. So we know how evolution works, right? The premise is that there is a species and a number of them. Say there's 100 things alive. Let's say single-celled organisms. There's 100 of them, and as they are swimming around, some kind of predator comes around and starts eating them. But the predator isn't very good at eating the big ones, because the big ones are too big for its mouth. So the predator eats all the small ones for a few generations. This happens over the years, right? It keeps eating the smaller ones again and again, and the bigger ones get away. So the bigger ones have a chance to breed, and they start popping out more bigger ones. And over time, the number of predators decreases because there's too many big prey instead. And so the prey survive and evolve and improve. And this happens again and again and again, right? With various different things. That's how we develop everything that's ever evolved over time. Either the prey has done it, or the external stimuli have changed, so the amount of sunshine that's available, or the amount of air pollution. There's actually examples of evolution in response to human pollution. You can find certain algae and such have evolved to have different pigments in their cells and such to deal with the amount of sunlight that filters through clouds or through toxic environments and such. All this stuff, right? And so we've got proof of all that. And what we did is we said, well, if that works so well over a long period of time, that can be simulated, right? So if we simulate this and speed up time, we can kind of see what would happen. So we don't know what's going to happen. We will say our goal is to make something that is going to survive the situation. So we take the original thing, and just imagine we're doing the exact same things. We have the cells, and we don't know what's going to happen. We just say we've got these cells that are getting eaten by predators. or sorry, we've got these cells. We want to see how we can improve them in general, and we know that by the end we want them to be able to survive. We don't know how they're going to be able to survive. We just know that we want them to survive. So we introduce a predator, and they have this breeding mechanism, so they can keep breeding, and we let them go wild. And over time, the attributes of these cells will still evolve, right? So the ones who are bigger size will have more likelihood of breeding and continue on, and so on. And so we can actually artificially show evolution, right? It works fine through algorithms. So we have written algorithms that are basically, so in this case, genetic algorithms. They basically work in the same premise of coding genes. So certain genes are turned on, certain are turned off. We have a way of having some kind of competition through tournament selection. We have some random mutations thrown in there as well. It's a very unlikely thing. So if you have a couple of people who breed and have kids, they'll mostly inherit stuff from their parents, but there's also a very small chance of another mutation happening. Like sometimes a kid might have a sixth toe on each foot, even though their parents didn't have a sixth toe. That's random mutation, right? Sometimes it's useful to have that, because random mutation is that's how we evolve, partly, right? It's partly due to external stimuli, but it's also partly due to random mutation. Generally speaking, you don't want mutation to be more than like 0.5%. Like you don't want to be like more than 1 in every 500, 1 every 1,000, depending on the scenario. So random mutation is usually a bad thing, right? If you have everything randomly mutating, the whole species will die off in one go, right? So generally speaking, it's faster and much better for a species to have a very low rate, but still have a rate of mutation. So mutation is technically an error, if you think of it that way. However, it's often a useful error. Autism is kind of seen of that as a useful error. People say evolutionary biologists are saying that autism is actually one of the main reasons that we are where we are today, because without autistic people, we would not have people who are interested in science and technology and very logical thinkers, right? We would have a much smaller number and frequency of people who are so inclined, and so the human race it needs to thank autistic people for where we are. I need to thank evolution. So these algorithms basically work by doing this. They evolve. You get handed a problem, whatever it may be. In this case, the problem is the software, right? We have the software that has problems somewhere. We don't know what the problems are. We have no idea. We know what the software is, and we know what the outcome should be, right? So if you have a video game, you know that you want your character to be drawn on the screen. So you set the test is set as, we want a character drawn on the screen. We have some code here that's close to working, but there's something wrong with it. We don't know what's wrong. It's probably some stupid issue where the programmers typed the wrong thing. They put a 2 instead of a 1. They put a minus instead of a plus, right? These kind of things happen. So you then run it through a genetic algorithm. It has a bunch of instances, like versions of the code, all of the exact same, and then it'll make slight changes and compare them to each other, and then they'll basically fight off, right? This code mutated versus this code with a selection thing, and whoever wins and whoever passes tests can breed again and pass on their characteristics and so on. And that's the basic premise of how genetic improvement works. And that's one of the jobs I'm applying for. And I think it's a really fascinating and interesting field. So I'm applying for that down in London, and we'll see how that goes. That's one of the positions. So that's a postdoc position, which means it's kind of like a short contract. I think it's a 2-year in this case, which is actually quite long. But that's the next rung on the ladder. That's where I'm expected to go. The other job I'm applying for is a lectureship, which is like 2 rungs ahead. So I really, technically I'm not ready for this, according to the standard. I shouldn't have the amount of teaching required or the research knowledge to do this. I would argue that I do, and so I'm fighting for it, and we'll see how that goes. I've been working hard on that. So for what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks is trying to make myself as lecture ready as possible. I've been applying for grants to show that I can do that. I've been attending workshops on teaching to show that I've been interested in self-development, as well as to prove that I am an able teacher. Most people in my position usually have like 30 to 100 hours of teaching logged over their 4 years. I have several thousand, and I have administrative tasks that I've done with teaching. I've coordinated entire modules, written exams. So I think I've got a good chance of fighting for it. So all that's going on, and that's what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, is doing a lot of teaching, doing a lot of stuff for applying for jobs, and doing my own research on top. So that's how I've been pretty busy. So let's go back to the chat. I see there's some stuff going on there, and I feel bad for ignoring you guys. Hando says, have you ever heard of the book The Stoned Ape? I have not, actually. I have not heard of this. It argues that early humanoids found LSD-like plants, and thus it helped give us imagination. That's really interesting, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. I do know a little bit about the biology behind imagination, or I suppose the historical psychology, I guess. So it's very fascinating, actually. The premise is that the main thing that separates us from our fellow mammals and other species on Earth is not our thumbs, like many say. I would say that's obviously a big improvement, but there are, primates have thumbs, for example. Like that's not what really separates us. And obviously it's our brain power, right? Like our brain power in general is what separates us, our ability to think. But what does that really mean, and which part of it it really separates us? Because dogs can think. Dogs can actually consider, right? And so if you tell a dog off and train it repeatedly to not go for a biscuit that's on the table, right? You keep training it, and whenever it doesn't go for it, you give it another biscuit, and it trains, and it sets some motor pathways so that it knows through repeated exposure again and again and again, and obvious rewards being given to it, to not go for that biscuit. It won't, right? It'll learn not to go for it for a while. I mean, realistically, if you leave that biscuit there and go to work, you'll come back home and the biscuit will be gone, right? There's only so much you can teach a dog. And that's because it does have the ability to, in its mind, consider a possibility. So it will think forward and say, if I take this biscuit, then something bad will happen. It's good if I don't take the biscuit. That's basically what it thinks. It's not smart to think why. It doesn't know that human is going to punish it. It doesn't quite understand. All it knows is that, this is a bad thing. I shouldn't do it. It's bad. But the primal instinct within it will eventually overcome the kind of feeble mind of a dog and say, it's food. Go for the food. But what is biscuit? Says Hando. Now, in a human, what really separates us is, at some point, we look at a set of buses coming towards the road that we want to cross, right? And we look at them. And we very quickly make a calculation, near mathematical, right? Inside our own mind. Way VTW inside joke, folks, says Hando. So these buses are coming towards us, and we're standing on the sidewalk, getting ready to cross. And these buses are coming closer and coming closer. And, we basically go into like a slow down time, quick thinking kind of mode. Like kind of Sherlock Holmes-y, but not quite as extreme, right? Like, and we think to ourselves, okay, what are the possible outcomes here? I walk out onto the road and get squished by bus 1. I walk out on the road, get squished by bus 2. I walk out on the road and get squished by bus 3. Outcome 4 is that the traffic lights change in time, and I'll be allowed to cross legally and safely, and the buses will stop in time. Outcome, I can't remember what number I was on, 5. The lights change, but the buses keep going because they're going too fast. Outcome 6, I run across as fast as I can, but then I'll be socially mocked for running. Like sprinting for no reason. Outcomes 6 or 7, that it's better. Maybe if I jog or do a fast walk, it'll be more socially acceptable. And we very quickly consider all these possible. And finally, of course, I just wait until the buses have passed, and I spend an extra minute waiting for traffic to pass. We instantly consider so many different simulations inside of our brain of what if happens. What if we do this? What if we do that? And we manage to choose one. We're very good at that. We are incredibly good at simulating what will happen spatially and temporally. Right? We can think of these incredible possibilities. And we don't just do it for the short term of what's currently in front of us. We do it days, weeks, months, years, decades in advance. Like when you go into your job, in fact, way before that, when you're in school and you're thinking of what job you're going to choose, you're not thinking about which job you're going to choose. You're actually thinking about when you're, 35, 55, 75, 85, retiring, what kind of a pension you're going to have. We're thinking so far down the line. And that evolution that we have gotten, this imagination, is really what sets us different, because we don't need to go in and get bitten by the poisonous snake to learn that it's bad. We can look at the snake and say, what are the choices here? Where are my paths? And I don't know if you ever read that fantastic poem. I might read out. I don't know what the copyright issues were in this. I'll have to think about that. But the Robert Frost's "The Road Not Taken" is an absolutely amazing like summation of this kind of thought process, and the philosophy behind it, of course. Let me actually find out when this guy was born and stuff. So it was published in 1916. It must be copyright free by now. I really don't want to read out a poem that I'm going to get in trouble for, though. Let me see. I'd be horrible if we got banned for something dumb like that. It's on Wikiquote, so it must be allowed. It must be. Copyright. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's on the free online library, so it must be fine. Okay. So you guys have all heard of this before. You must have. If not, I'm going to read it anyway, because it's a beautiful poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Now, that is a beautiful, fantastic poem by Robert Frost. And it has both a sort of main theme as well as like a secondary theme. So the main one, which may seem very obvious at first, is you think to yourself, of course, taking the road less travelled is the way forward. It's the thing that we should do, because you'll experience life, and you'll experience things most people haven't, and that's a good thing. So if you can, I saw a great YouTube animation on this actually, where there was a lot of imagery that showed the idea of the road less travelled was, for example, travelling the world, exploring different nations, and the road mostly travelled was the one where people would settle down, have a family, get a job, and all that stuff. And the idea was the road not taken. That the main theme is the idea that taking the road less travelled is the better option. That's what most people think about this poem. But my favourite interpretation, and sort of the secondary underlying theme that I think Frost was leaning towards, is this idea that no matter which road you take, you'll end up in the same place. In the end, the roads diverge. They converge. They come together. And you'll regret not taking the other one no matter what you do. And I think that's a fantastic idea. And this which goes to linking back into the whole psychology, evolution, imagination thing. I think the purpose of this poem is to think, looking forward and looking back, we have the ability to consider the different options and weigh up the pros and cons of each. And that's what's really set us separate from our other primate brethren and cousins. Copy says the road less travelled is one that only rich people can afford to take. I disagree completely. There is nothing stopping you getting out of your car, getting out of your house right now, and walking. And you are young enough to do the whole world in your lifetime twice over if you so pleased. You absolutely are. All you need is your passport. That's it. Any food along the way, you can either scavenge like the homeless do, or you can beg for, or you can go food kitchens, or you can work along the way. I think I've known several thoroughly interesting people who've travelled, if not the world, then parts of it, who've done that. They go away for a few years, they travel around all South America or something, and they just spend most of their time travelling from one place to the other, working a few shifts in a bar, helping somebody chop some wood, doing a little bit of cleaning somewhere just for a couple of nights, taking their income, money in hand, using it to pay for food and such, then going on, sleeping in a tent or whatever. I think it's fantastic. Copy says the sun is the reason I won't go outside. Well, that's your choice, isn't it? And that's the road I think we've in a sense chosen the road most travelled by, and I think it's something that's exactly the point, though, right? We will kind of complain about the fact that we didn't take the other, but it's not. They all end up in the same place anyway. So that was I don't think we've ever read poetry on the show before. That's a first. It's absolutely a first. You've been listening to ShowX on VTWProductions.com. Please remember the competition that we have on. You need to go and retweet that little ditty. The little ShowX is live on Twitch on Twitter. Currently, we have one retweet, and it's me. So this competition isn't going so well. Okay, alternatively, you can also do it on Facebook. If you retweet on Facebook, you can also... share on Facebook. I'll also get a notification there, and you can be opted in for the prize, which is Shadow of Mordor and all DLC on Steam. Please do go and do these things. We appreciate it. Okay. We've got one more comment before we head off. Hando says, and sorry. First of all, Copy says, it's not exactly a choice. I will burn, to the sun outside comment. And Hando says, I've taken the road less travelled many times. It's quite uncomfortable. Hey, Uther. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think that's also another thing. The road less travelled by is the uncomfortable one, but that has its own merits as well. I think the purpose of exploration versus exploitation. We explore not because it will be better, but because it might be. I think that's why. Okay, I'm going to play... I'm trying to avoid Frog Leap because they keep getting tagged as YouTube unfriendly. Let me find something on YouTube that's Creative Commons friendly. Creative Commons music. I don't want instrumental. What kind of music should we have? Say a genre. Do you want classical? What do you want? What do you want? IRC chat, tell me what genre of music do you want? Joko says Hando, want Joko. Saint Uther says classical or classic. That could be anything. Yeah, let's go with classical. Classical music. Okay, this is from the YouTube channel Sundries. And it's the top 10 free classical music Creative Commons playlist. This is the YouTube audio library under Creative Commons licensing. It's instrumental classical background music for video compilations or whatever. This includes Eine kleine Nachtmusik, which is by Mozart, of course. We've got some Bach, got some Bizet, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Wagner, Handel, and such. But we're probably going to listen to the Mozart and maybe the Bach if we have enough time. So you have been listening to ShowX on VTWProductions.com. We'll be back shortly. Please do enjoy some classical music. Pretentiously put on your monocle, raise your port glass, and enjoy. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. I think that'll do. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. That was a really nice. I really enjoyed that. Oh, and also do not forget.
Send in your emails to showx@vtwproductions.com.
Yes, do not forget that. Okay, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the music and enjoyed my air violin. Hey, that's I was really into it, genuinely. I was loving that. That was really fantastic. I love classical music, man. It's awesome. I really do enjoy Tchaikovsky. It's probably one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm kind of the same kind of dude who like I like pop classical, right? Like I like Mozart and Bach and Wagner and Tchaikovsky. I don't like anything too, I don't know, I like stuff that I remember from my childhood, I guess. That's part of it. So stuff that you hear in old cartoons, I guess, is what really appeals to me. All right. So we're gonna do a little bit of gaming here. We're gonna do some gaming. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Oh, I forgot the prizes and stuff. Let's see who has won here. I have a random number generator, and I'm going to go into both the Facebooks and the Twitters, and I'm going. By the way, I just updated our Twitter page because I realized it still said some information that was just wrong. I gave a link to a website that didn't exist anymore, for example. So it now says to send us people to our Twitch, and that's good. That makes more sense. Okay, let's see who retweeted. We have me and Hando who has retweeted. So let me add Hando into the list here. We got Hando, and we've got in the Facebooks. We have, I'm not going to say real names, so we have the person on the Facebooks, and we have a page. I don't know, I think that's cheating. We have a page that has shared us. Versus the World Gaming has shared it. Now, I appreciate that. I don't know how to tell who that is, though. If it is the same person who also retweeted, who also shared as well, and you don't get to do it twice. So, I think it's cheating. Okay, let's do this. Oh, it's that Campo's going to share his vote. Okay, no problem. All right, gonna roll this, and I had a little countdown set as well. It says, okay, 3, 2, 1, and person number 2 won. So yeah, that is El Campo. Congratulations, El Campo, you have won. Sorry, other people. Thank you all for sharing. I really do appreciate it. That's basically the purpose here. Probably the most expensive shares I've ever bought in my life. Shares. El Campo, I will send you the... I think it's best not to send it to the page because I think other people can see the admin inbox there. So I'd rather send it to you personally. I don't know how best to do this. Maybe Discord? Discord might be the best. I think I can get you there. So I'll load in there just now. I think I can find your username there fairly easily. Okay, for everybody else, we're probably going to jump in and play some video here now. So let's see how to do this. Let's do some Stellaris. I think that's the obvious one to do because Hando can play as well. Hando says I won years ago. How to confuse me 101. Oh yeah, got you, El Campo. Here we go. Send you a message. There is the key. You should have it now. Enjoy. Okay. Right, back to what I was doing. So we're going to be doing some gaming here. We're going to be playing a little bit of Stellaris. Beautiful, pretty game. And so let me sort all this out. I got to turn off a bunch of stuff. We're not going to see the chat anymore, I don't think, or my face. Let's make my face nice and small, actually. And maybe I can keep the chat up. We'll see. It might be a little bit annoying though. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, so Stellaris is this real-time strategy game that you can get on Steam for fairly cheap. Let me see what the price of it is right now in Stellaris. Stellaris is current. Oh god, it's £35 still. It's pretty expensive actually. It is. So 5 of my friends on Steam already own this game. 2 friends want it, and it's marked as currently popular. I have 176 hours played, and I will probably put in many more. The DLC are generally okay, but the base game is fantastic. So check that out. It is brilliant. So, okay, Hando says he'll join in later. We'll see if we can do that after the show, then have Hando join after the show. But in the meantime, I'll do some solo play and yeah, sort of explain it as we go. Why is it not running? I hit play and it's not popping up. So I've got the DLC. Oh god, I've got loads of DLC. I've got a bunch of portrait packs and stuff installed because I got the Galaxy Edition, which came with a bunch of crap. I also have Stellaris Apocalypse installed. I have the Humanoid Species Pack, the Plantoid Species Pack, Synthetic Dawn DLC, the Leviathan Story Pack, Utopia DLC, and Horizon Signal DLC. So these are a bunch of fun things I've got here available to screw around with that may be different from your game. Alright? Just so you know. Oh, Kuro says Stellaris is $10 on G2A. Get it. Get it. If you don't already have it, get it. Stellaris is awesome. You know, if you want to fail your job and get loads of other, spend all your time in this and maybe, you know, lose your husband or wife, all that kind of thing. This is how you do it. This is how it's done. It's really a fantastic. It's kind of worth it. It's worth it in my opinion. All right. Let's see what happens. It doesn't seem to be launching. That's a bit concerning. Maybe it's because I'm. Maybe it's because I'm here. Maybe it's because I'm actually doing the show. Maybe it doesn't like it. I don't know. I'm going to try restarting my Steam and we will see. That would be inconvenient. If not, we'll have to do Factorio, I think. Which I think you guys are probably sick of seeing me play now. I'm reloading it. We will see. I'm sorry. In the meantime, we can talk more science if you'd like. Last week we talked about the amoebas and such. Oh, I know. I can talk about these novels. These novels I've been reading. So the Culture series. I think I'm like 5 books in now. So the Culture series is basically this these books written by Ian M. Banks, a Scottish author. You've probably heard of Ian Banks. He's pretty popular. But he publishes under he published under Ian M. Banks when he did his sci-fi stuff. And basically, the Culture series is this utopia, futuristic humanoid, pan-humanoid group of aliens who've come together to make some kind of federation of sorts, who are pretty much at the peak of technology. They are pretty much some of the smartest and most advanced technological race in the entire universe, with a few minor exceptions. They're not very warfaring. Their main concept is to believe entirely in freedom. So they're almost like extremely libertarian. Well, people can do whatever they please, and there's no law. It's pretty much anarchistic as well. There's absolutely no laws, but nobody does any crime anyway, because why would you? You live in a utopia is kind of the premise, right? Like, nobody really wants to commit crime. Like, if somebody did murder someone else, they would... There's no jail, there's no prison. They'd probably just get assigned a robot who would follow them around and prevent them from doing anything else that is bad. Otherwise, they would be free to do as they please. But the worst punishment of all is that they'd be socially outcast, so people wouldn't want to talk to them. And that is effectively the punishment, because that's how the freedom would work around it. And I think that's kind of a great system if that actually could potentially work. Of course, it can't, but that's because we don't have, you know, absolutely perfect AI and machinery which can, you know, float around and be used as insane weapons of mass destruction in 0.00001 seconds notice, right? If we had those, prisoners could just go around and do as they please and be stopped from committing any further crimes, and it'd be fine. We'd be perfectly safe. So that's the premise of how the culture works. Now, they're actually, you find out through the series, and a slight spoiler, I suppose, even though the series is not chronological, it is entirely just like the books are just almost random throughout the existence of the culture. The first book is probably the earliest on chronologically, but anyway, the entire species of the culture is set. they have this scale, the sliding scale of technology, and the universe and all the other species and all the other federations and such, they all sort of rank each other for their abilities on the scope of technology. And the culture is dubbed to be a tier 9, which is basically the utmost technologically advanced that you can be before becoming sublimed. Now, being sublimed basically means that you've reached a level of technology, kind of like in Stargate, how you can now advance into a being of pure energy, and you've worked out how to do it. And it can be done. And basically, the culture have decided as a species that while they know that they're technologically at that level, they don't want to become sublimed yet. They may one day, but right now they do not. And that's the kind of interesting premise. And the purpose of their existence is instead to prevent great evils and try to help other societies follow their mindset of this like great freedom and trying to stop genocide and that kind of thing. And they don't do this overtly. They don't want to be seen, because quite often if they are seen interfering with another species, not only will that species probably go nuclear on themselves and go to war against the culture and elsewhere, for in order to lose, but it also means other species would likely be angered by the culture's interference. So what they do is they basically have this group of effectively spies and stealthy like AI and ships and such, who subversively politically enter these other societies as ambassadors or undercover, and they'll physically change the way they look to be one of the aliens there, and do all this kind of stuff in order to either start a war or stop a war or kill a target who is going to do something evil and crazy. And they know exactly what, more or less, with statistical likelihood, they know what to do, because they're basically, there's these fantastic AI in the culture who live inside ships and stuff, who can work out the statistical likelihood of what is going to solve the situation and resolve it, stop the genocides and such. So that's the kind of why the books are interesting. You follow this sort of like James Bondish almost agents of the culture doing their thing, which is kind of fun and interesting. You see all these different alien races and civilizations and different creeds and purposes and all. I just love Iain M. Banks' vision of a potential utopian future. I think it's just amazing. So some of the things that make it a utopia, for example, is there's no money. Nobody pays for anything. You just, if you want something, you ask the general AI networks, and they'll either have it made for you, or you will be transported somewhere where that exists. So if you want to go live on a planet by yourself, fine. They've got so many planets to spare, that's no problem. If you want to go blow up a moon, fine. Moons to spare. If you want to get like a jet or your own ship, yep, okay. If you want to get a fantastic anti-gravity suit with like top-notch nuclear abilities and whatever else, yep, all fine. You can do pretty much anything you want. There's just no problem, and people do, and that's kind of how the culture works. They're a perfect utopia, it's just they also have the ability to do crazy things with their lifespan. So by default, most people live to 200 years. But you can also get like an extension through medical means, if you so wish, for another couple hundred years. Or you can opt in for pure immortality, if you so please. Or you can go into stasis and wait till something happens. For example, if you're religious, you can wait until the next coming of Christ or something. Or you can, if you're not religious and you just want to wait to see if technology advances further, or you could wait until everybody's ready to sublime together, so you can all ascend into these energy forms together. They have these amazing dreams, so they have the ability to like basically they have machines that will modify their minds while they're asleep in order to have dreams that are basically video games. You can dream as a famous pirate, and you basically go into like an MMO where other people are pirates and they're doing their own things, and you can spend 6 months in this dream that seems perfectly realistic and real. And then you get bored of it and say, okay, I'm ready to wake up now. And you wake up in the morning, and only a night's passed. It's awesome. They all have like drug glands that are by default put inside them, so they can synthesize any drug within their brain that they so please. So, you know, if they want to think really quickly and they want to slow down time for their own perception, they can do so. If they want to wake up, they can do so. If they want to sober up, they can do so. If they want to be like more caffeinated, they can do that. It's really neat. So this is the Culture series by Ian M. Banks, and I was trying to just talk about that because it's a series I'm reading and really enjoying while I was waiting for Stellaris to start, but Stellaris is not even launching, and I can't work out why. I don't know why it's doing this. It's really quite irritating. I'm going to tell it to check my game files and see what's going on here. Verify integrity of game files. Otherwise, looks like you're going to watch me play The Sims. Oh god, such normies. This is the normie show. That's what you've been watching, is the normie show. Indeed. In the meantime, while I do the verification, let's go and look at some news and talk some news. Alright. So I want to thank IGN for again having this stuff. Is anybody playing Apex Legends? I'm still seeing loads of news about that. People have been enjoying that. Wayne said he was really enjoying it, and I've still not played it, and I really want to. I accidentally uninstalled it, but I need to reinstall it. So Activision Blizzard aware that 800 job cuts could negatively affect business. Well, duh. If 800 people is 800 times what? 7.5 hours a day? That's what, tens of thousands of hours of man time a day? That's a lot of stuff going away. So Activision Blizzard has, in an SEC filing, discussed some of the ramifications of its decision to cut 800 jobs and how it may negatively impact its business going forward. So it was published on February 28th and discussed many items, including the company not being able to deliver popular games consistently, its dependence on a small number of franchises, which we all know, right? There's not that many Blizzard games out there. Managing its own growth and the potential for legal proceedings. One of the most important parts of the filing, however, are in regard to the company's decision to lay off 8% of its 9,900 staff, which is about 800 people who are going to lose their jobs. Activision Blizzard has said that it's already put aside $150 million to compensate these impacted workers, but those funds are only part of the cost and risk it may incur due to this decision. While we believe that restructuring plan will enable us to provide better opportunities for talent and greater expertise and scale on behalf of our business units, the filing stated, our ability to achieve the desired and anticipated benefits from the restructuring plan within our desired and expected timeframe is subject to many estimates and assumptions. Right, that was the most useless paragraph I've read in my life. Further, there can be no assurance that our business will be more efficient or effective than prior to implementation of the plan, or that additional restructuring plans will not be required or implemented in the future. The implementation of this restructuring plan may also be costly and disruptive to our business, or have other negative consequences such as attrition beyond our planned reduction in workforce, or negative impacts on employee morale and productivity, or on our ability to attract and retain highly skilled employees. Any of these consequences could negatively impact our business. Why the heck are you doing it then? Why the heck are you doing it? That's mental. Activision Blizzard began these job cuts ahead of its 2018 fourth quarter earnings report, in which it cited record net revenues of $7.5 billion for 2018. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, oh god, not heard that name in a while, is also reportedly on the list of the most overpaid CEOs, which includes an analysis of taking the CEO's salary and the ratio with the average worker at said company, along with other factors such as shareholder votes against CEO's pay package. What an absolute bastard that guy is. Taking all that money and then cutting off 8% of the employees. Piss off, you absolute douche. My god. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this affects the games that we all know and love. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So next up we have So apparently Apex Legends leaked a year ago, but no one actually noticed. So Apex Legends, specifically his map, was leaked last year, but no one noticed. As reported by PC Gamer, a Reddit user by the name of Hiticonic, posted a thread titled "Alleged Minimap for Rumored Titanfall Battle Royale Game" 11 months ago, and only garnered 14 comments, some excited about the idea of a Titanfall Battle Royale game, and others calling the map a fake. Well, as it turned out, that was in fact the map of Apex Legends from Titanfall developers Respawn Entertainment, albeit changed slightly. Yesterday, Reddit users Fubbles22 brought up the leak that went mostly ignored for almost a year, and the user's thread is now saying it's 57.5 thousand upvotes and over 1,600 comments. Hiticonic appeared in the thread and jokingly said, "I'll take my upvotes now," and asked everyone to stop giving him Reddit Gold as he doesn't need it. He currently has been given Reddit Gold 16 times. That means people have spent like $10 to give him a virtual badge online, effectively. That's silly. In response, Respawn community manager JFresh Respawn commented and said that he remembered the post and that it was a relief to see folks blew it off, and the JFresh was thinking, well, he'll be able to say I was right when it comes next year along. That's good. That's pretty funny. Oh my god, there's so much random boring stuff in here. I hate these kind of articles that are like, how to get 2,150 Apex Legends coins for 99 pence. I don't care. Even if I had the game, I probably wouldn't care. How to see your stats in Apex Legends. You can tell where the money is right now for IGN, right? You can really tell. A lot of opinion articles as well recently. This is kind of crazy. So there's been a weekly content update for Honor. Apparently that's still a game people play. It's because it came out free on PlayStation, I think, this month. So people are pretty interested in that. People are talking about the Division 2 as well. Anybody playing that? I played the Division 1, but I don't like these kind of games where there's like, hey, you're an MMO, you can play with loads of people. Here are 5 buttons you use, if you're lucky. Most of them will have 3. Like, I don't give a crap about that kind of thing. I really don't. Hearthstone's Year of the Dragon has been revealed. So Blizzard today announced a raft of new ideas about the... my Steam just popped up and told me 1,952 files failed to validate and will be reacquired. So yeah, Steam apparently deleted itself in some of it itself for Stellaris. So that's why it failed before, and it's now fixed itself. So that would explain it. It deleted half of the game itself, and now that's why it wouldn't launch. All right. Blizzard today announced a raft of new details about the year ahead for Hearthstone, from the cards that will be going to the Hall of Fame, new arena formats, and a new approach to single-player content, through to a number of updates that will be coming to the game within the next patch. Alright, that's vaguely binarily interesting. I liked Hearthstone, and the solo stuff's probably the best, but I just got sick of it because it really felt like there was like, I don't know, 3 decks that mattered that you could play, but it only really matters if you paid like £500 for a bunch of cards to unlock all these, or if you were really lucky and played the game every day. And I did that. I played the game every single day and opened packs every day, and I still really struggled to get past like rank 17, even using the main packs out there, because I was missing like 3 legendaries or something that were needed, and that was it, you know. Okay, so let's jump into Stellaris. This is a beautiful game. You can hear the music in the background. Let me make sure this is nice and high up for you guys. It's really, really beautiful ambient music. It's on, I believe it's on Spotify. Let me actually double check that, because it's, like I said, this is worthy. Oh, it's so nice. Spotify. I just typed Spotify into Spotify. I'm a stupid man. Yeah, the Stellaris original game soundtrack is available. Give that a listen. It's pretty much the entirety of my study playlists. It's just so nice. Alright, we're going to jump in now. Give me a moment here while I sort out how the video is going to work to make sure it looks okay for everybody. And once we've done that, we can start. we can start. Okay. Add new window capture and make it, no, not Xbox Gaming Overlay. What the hell is that? Apparently that exists. There we go. Stellaris. Show yourself. There we go. That was easy enough. And then I put my face to the top, because my face is important. And we can also have the chat, maybe. We can have the chat there, kind of. In fact, what I'll do is I will make the game a little bit smaller. I'll get rid of this. I'll turn off the images. I'll get rid of the text. I'll have the game big enough to take up the space up to there, include of the chat. In fact, more so. I'll have the chat put to the bottom. There we go. That's what we need. Ah, screw it. I'll just full screen it. I tried. I got annoyed. Alright, that'll do. I don't care. I'm just gonna hide my face and stuff. Alright, here's the game. This is Stellaris. We could do a multiplayer game. Are people up for that? I might just do solo. I don't know. Hando seems to be back, so yeah, I'll put on multiplayer and people can join if they so please. Okay, host new game. It's gonna be, the server name is just gonna be VTW, and the password, oh, I don't know. Let's have the password evolution lowercase. And the description for the server can be Hando is a noob. Okay, that'll do. So the password, I'm just going to put this in here for now. Pass equals evolution without the speech marks. Yeah? Look for the server VTW. Come join us there. Password is evolution. Hosting now. So you can choose your empire in the left-hand side. So there's a bunch of different type of empires you can be. You can make your own as well, where you like set a bunch of edict type stuff, like the purpose of your people, how they work. Here are some examples. So the default really is the United Nations of Earth, where they're adaptive, meaning they get extra habitability points. They're nomadic, meaning they can resettle easily, but they're very wasteful, so your populace costs 10% extra. They're xenophiles, meaning that they have additional trade values and lower diplomatic influence costs, but you can't enslave, you can't displace people, you can't use the no refugees species policy, and you automatically like other species more. And they're also fanatic egalitarians, which has its own benefits and stuff. They're beacons of liberty, increasing unity, and they're an idealistic foundation. Alternatively, you can also go the Commonwealth of Man, which is like an offshoot of humans, who are, you know, the same, still humans, so they're adaptive, nomadic, and wasteful, but they're xenophobes instead, so they can purge aliens, they can enslave aliens. They're fanatic militarists, so, you know, that means they're better at military stuff. They have a distinguished admiralty, again, better military, and so on. Then you get all these weird ones, like the Vur, the Tebrid Homolog, which are machine-based. So they're immortal, and they can live anywhere, because they don't have any requirements. Then you have the Earth Custodian ship, XT-489 Eliminator, also a machine. You get these anthropoids, the Zanid Suzerainty, the Locken Mechanists. You get the plant-based people, so there's the I Am Groot people. Get some weird floating mollusk type thing. Mammal type things. You can make your own furries. Furry people and or weird fungusy blorgs. So let's go through let's quickly look at the create new stuff. Just so I can show you what's in here. So you choose your appearance first of all. So you can be a humanoid, machine, mammalian, reptilian, avian, anthropoid, molluscoid, fungoid, plantoid, Like, you'd be this crazy, scary dude. So it's weird, right? Look at all this different stuff you can do. You can become, oh shit, what's the guy's name? Star Trek. In fact, there's a couple here that look like Star Trek dudes. These look like orcs. You can have orcs. But you make your own, right? So you choose an appearance, you choose a name. Prefixes for names for the actual, like, in-game leaders. So when you have, like, if you have a democracy, you'll have people trying to stand as leaders, right? Be mayors or whatever. And that's what their names will be generated as. You have traits as well, like gregarian, intelligent, thrifty, adaptiveness, slow breeding or being fast breeding. Homeworld and the types of homeworlds, how the cities look that you would have in the window there. That doesn't really mean anything, it's just for the window pictures. The voices that you have.
Priority alert.
Like that.
Please disregard the contents of my previous message.
Boundless horizons.
Alert. Possible organic life form detected.
Descent is forcefully discouraged.
Under no circumstances must the Xeno be trusted.
I serve the faithful. There is no greater calling.
Different flags, different ship appearances, all this different stuff. And that actually isn't in a game thing. That actually matters, right? Well, no, it doesn't really matter. It just looks pretty. It's how you want it to look. And so on. So there's a ton of different stuff you can do in this game. It's really customizable. It's really neat. And these minor choices you make can have pretty big outcomes that you may not notice, right? I'm probably going to go the XT489 Eliminator because it's fun. Okay, I've got nobody else joining yet. Anybody having issues if they're trying to join? Oh, whatever. We'll just have a solo game. So let's do the same thing as before, but yeah, we'll do we'll go to the Nagari Swamp. No, actually, let's go somewhere peaceful. I've never gone anybody really peaceful ever, really, because I like blowing stuff up. Let's go authoritarian. Meh. I don't really see it. Okay, let's make our own one. Create a new empire. Alright. How do you want it to look, people? Are we going to have something super ugly? Are we going to have some anime girls? Are we going to be furries? Are we going to be, like, walking slugs? We're going to be this guy. Mr. Droopy Face. Should we have a race of Mr. Droopy Faces? Or that thing from, let's make it male. Now you can tell the difference. Are you going to have that thing from, what's that? Stranger Things? Creepy ass dudes here. Give me a description. IRC. Do you want to go a bird? I want to make a divine, like, religion people. We could have religious machines. That could be kind of weird. That could be interesting. I don't know if they're allowed to be religious. We could try, though. We could have this oddly penis-y looking guy. We could have a sex of misogynists or like misandrists, the sexist race, and see. And we'll try to go for like unity, where we like try to be friends with everybody, but really badly. Like, we'll put no points in military, and every time somebody says something to us, we'll respond with, like, something horrible and insulting. And then, wonder why it's not working. Okay, Kuro says we should go birds. Alright. I am not gonna go that guy. I'm not gonna go that guy. Oh god, I kinda hate the birds. Ah, okay, fine, let's do it. Let's go space bird. I think we should probably go space bird, because that makes the most sense. Alright, we're space bird. Our species name is gonna be let's go VTWian. And for the, what's the plural? VTWers, VTWianers. And adjective can be sexy and nerdy. Biography. Let's not go too crazy here. Somehow through Quantum magic, not really understood by anyone. The VT dubs community were both transformed entirely into birds, became religious, and were catapulted into space to take over everything. Or something. Okay, there we go. There's our there's our biography. The names? I think we should maybe go human-y, because it's hard to say otherwise. What are the bird ones like? Avian, A. Beraki Karik. Yeah, let's go with that one. That was kind of Klingon-y. Our ship prefixes could be Flappy. So we'll have Flappy 1, Flappy 2. Because there's Flappy Birds, of course. Okay, what are our traits going to be? Alright, let me go back to this in a second. Let me actually update our Twitch thing so it says we're playing this game. How's my audio level, by the way? Can everybody hear me okay? Hando also said do the droopy faces and call them the Coens. I like it. Oh shit, I need to sign in as VTW. I never do that. I don't even know our login. VTW Show X, probably. Nope. I don't know. Whatever. We'll just play the game. Who cares? Alright, so we want to be like, we're going to be dumb? Are we going to, I said we want to be, I want us to be religious, right? So we need to be religious. We could be decadent. Enduring? Nah, that's boring. Conformists? Nah. Nah, these are boring. I don't want to be strong either. Traditional, maybe. Slow breeders? Okay, we're slow breeders. I don't even want to have kids, man. We're slow breeders. We're ingenious. Yeah, that's us. Can we be ingenious and intelligent? Yeah, let's be intelligent, ingenious, and slow breeding. Alright, there we go. What kind of land do we come from? Are we going to come from a frozen, a dry, or a wet? So here's all the different options. We've got Arctic world, Alpine world, Tundra world, Ocean, Continental, Tropical, Desert, Arid, or Savanna. I'm leaning towards frozen. Because, well, the US is cold right now, right? And so is here. Decadent space peacocks. I like it. Yeah, let's go with the frozen, the Arctic climate. Our homeworld name can be. Nah, these are all crap. Let's have our homeworld name be Azeroth. And our star name. What's the star called in Star Warcraft? Constellations. There are constellations. Oh, well, it's not the name of the moon. So it's not a loon. Is there a name for the star? There's several stars. There's the Blazing Star. There's the Chill Star. There's the Destroyer Star. What did the Tauren call the sun? What did Tauren call sun? Oh, here we go. The sun has its own article. Azeroth has a single sun, as did Draenor, the alternate universe Draenor, Outland, and Nathreza in the Twisted Nether. Okay. It's just called the sun. Alright. Oh, that was hard. Let's just call it sun, then. Starting solar system? Should it be... What kind of... Let's have a solar system. Alright. Okay, you've won me over. Hando says call the star Lady Gaga. Okay. Hando says, can you make a setting where the males are only like... where the males only like women 5 feet tall? No. We could add it to the biography, I guess. If you so please. What's our city going to look like? Humanoid, reptilian, plantoid, avian. We are birds. It should be avian. Molluscoid looks cool, though. Anthropoid, fungoid. Let's go with avian. We're birds. Alright, our ethics. This is what really matters, guys. And our authoritarianness. So, our ethics. We can be... We're not going to be militaristic. We've got to be spiritual, right? We're going to be fanatic spiritualists. So, we can build temple buildings, but we cannot use full AI rights. We're not allowed to give AI any rights. Our monthly unity goes up. Now we can also have one more minor one. So we can be pacifists, materialists, egalitarian, xenophobe, militarist, authoritarian, or xenophiles. I'm feeling pacifist, so we're going to be spiritualist. We should probably be pacifist. So let's be nice. That being said, we can be spiritual and peace-loving and authoritarian. So do you want to have a democracy, oligarchy, or a dictatorship, or an imperial ruler? So basically, Democrats are quite annoying because the leaders change every 10 years, which is a little irritating, and you don't have a full choice over what happens. An oligarch means that we hold an election every 20 years to select the new ruler. A dictator holds an election upon the ruler's death to select a new ruler, so it's partly democratic. Whereas an imperial has a designated survivor who will become the new ruler. Now, there's also hive mind and machine intelligence, but we're not robots or a swarm. So imperial. Okay, if that's the rules. We'll be imperial. Now, where was imperial? Was that the last thing? Oh no, that's that. Okay, yeah. All right, we're imperials. Okay, civics. We've got 2 civics left. This is boring. Cutthroat politics? Nah, that's a bit dumb for our species. Environmentalist feudal society. The effects of subject power on relations is reduced by 50%, but all subjects are allowed to expand into unclaimed systems. Holy crap. Functional architecture, life seated. This is all dull stuff. Police state. Post-apocalyptic's pretty cool. Capital starts as a tomb world. Gain the survivor trait, granting tomb world habitability plus 70% and leader lifespan plus 10 years. That sounds pretty cool. So we rose from the ashes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we did that. We're post-apocalyptic. We definitely are. And a philosopher king. Well, of course. I'm a philosopher king. That makes sense. Okay, our advisor's voice.
Faith manages.
So that seems
Faith manages.
a little annoying.
What is a single voice compared to a magnificent chorus?
That's even more...
This island of warmth and harmony.
Okay.
Knowledge. Discover.
Boring.
Advance is made without great sacrifice.
Oh, I like that. The technocrat's pretty cool.
Advance is made without great sacrifice.
Build bridges.
You seem overworked. Have you considered joining a union?
Dissent is forcefully discouraged.
Yes, that one. Okay, dissent is forcefully discouraged. That's us. Okay, our empire name. The Dynastic Union of Lady Gaga. Are we going to be the Dynastic Union of Lady Gaga? Where our adjective is a Lady Gagan? I'm being told I'm allowed to be nice. Alright. We will be nice. Let's be... Well, it's not happy with us anyway. That's all fine. We can stick with that. We can stick with that. We can stick with that. Alright, we're not going to be nice. What we're going to be... Do you want to be xenophobes? Let's unclick these. So we can purge aliens and enslave them? Yeah, alright. And authoritarian. Militarist. There we go. Now we're going to be crazy. Okay. Now we can be fanatic purifiers. The society appears hellbent on scouring the galaxy of all other sapient life. Come what may, they may suffer no Xenos to live. They cannot engage in diplomacy. Cannot access the market. Has the purification casus belli on other species. So we basically can go to war for the reason of we want to go to war. Xenopops, so aliens that we are on our planets, will always be purged. Gains unity from purging Xenopops. May use Armageddon bombardment stance, so instead of just like taking out the rulers or their armies, we can take out everything. Ship fire rate increased by 33%. Army damage increased by 33%. Ship cost reduced by 25%. Naval capacity increased by 33%. Alright, let's do that. And let's not be post-apocalyptic anymore. Let's be... Is there any other crazy ones here? Nationalistic zeal. A strong sense of nationalistic pride permeates all layers of the society. Alright. Or we could be warrior culture. Nah, that's boring. Okay, we are going to be fighting birds. We're angry birds. We're not flappy birds. We're angry birds. From the Lady Gaga spectrum.
Descent is forcefully discouraged.
Yes. Yes. By Gaga be purged. Alright, we're the dynastic union of Lady Gaga. A Lady Gaganian. A Lady Gagian. A Lady... Let's just say Gaga. We are Gaga. Alright. Our flag. Now, I've always used the same flag, so let's mix it up. We sound vaguely Lady Gaga-ish. What's a Lady Gaga symbol? I don't know anything of Lady Gaga. Symbol. I'm typing in Lady Gaga symbol into Google. Oh, apparently she does have a symbol. It's a weird... Oh, God. It's like a... Oh, it's like a leaf, kind of, with another leaf or arrow or something. I don't know. Let's look through and see what we think of anything. I think maybe just a general death-like one is probably a good idea. I kind of like that. General angry death thing. And let's have our colors be pink. And our secondary colors be pink. No, our second colors can be yellow, orange. Let's make it blood, red. We are Gaga. There we go. One skull, two eyes. One skull, pink eyes. Okay, why is it unhappy with our traits? Oh, we can't be that anymore. Okay, fine. That's our flag. Our ship up here. Oh my God, they're pink ships now. Oh God. Okay, maybe we should go with the humanoid. They look like the most feminine ships there. Let's do that. Our starting ruler is going to be a female bird called... Alright, what's our first ruler going to be called, folks? What's our first ruler going to be called? In the dynastic union of Lady Gaga. Our space bird empire. Our xenophobic, militaristic, spacefaring bird empire, known as the dynastic union of Lady Gaga, must have its first leader. What will our first leader be called, chat? Something equal to the Lady Gagas. Something that the Lady Gagians deserve. The Gagas deserve. What should we be called? Any suggestions? Come on. Ripley. Ripley, like as an alien. Because we're anti-alien. Okay, that makes sense. How do you spell that? Ripley? 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 Okay, that makes more sense. Ripley. High Executioner could be the ruler title. Any other titles you'd like to have? Most flappy. Normie. Let's call it the Normie. And the heir title can be Noob. Okay. We can change the color of it. I don't really care. Can we make it pink or anything? We can change the room. Alright, that looks like the most inappropriate. There we go. Okay. We have the Blood Court Imperial. In the Dynastic Union of Lady Gaga. We are fanatic purifiers with nationalistic zeal. We're fanatically xenophobic, militaristic. We're slow breeders, ingenious and intelligent. Somehow, through quantum magic not really understood by anyone, the VT Dubs community were both transformed entirely into birds, became religious, and were catapulted into space to take over everything. Alright, save. The Dynastic Union of Lady Gaga has been saved successfully. Alright, let's, I'm a bit concerned about time here. We're already at the end of the show. So let's just save that society for the next time. So we can do that another time. It's now saved forever. Next to the Prime Nation and the Nagari Swarm, the other two ones I've made. The Dynastic Union of Lady Gaga. Thank you, everybody, for that. You guys are so helpful. You're so helpful with this kind of thing. Okay, you have been listening to Show X live on VTWProductions.com. Thank you so much for joining into this madness. This ridiculousness that is the show. I'm going to be in Discord afterwards. If you want to join in, come say hi. I'll hopefully see you guys in there. You've listened to Show X live on VTWProductions.com. We'll see you next week. Hope you all had a good time. Bye-bye.